All right, we are live. I just watched a beautiful talk of Fred Wilson and Dan Romero at FarCon, New York, which happened less than a week ago. It seemed amazing. He was talking about a bunch of experiences that he had with venture capital in 2007, 2008, compared that with the cycles of crypto in 2015, 2016, and now in 2025. What does he think? Where is everything going? And it's really cool. It's really cool like how they have spent 2 decades in tech industry, and it went from web 1, web 2, web 3. Wow, that is amazing. Okay, tell me, or what are the major milestones in the history of Union Square Ventures? Let's see. 2003. Wow. Yeah, more than 2 decades. Brad Burnham, founding in 2003. All right, so over here we see focus on early stage internet enable and disruptive technology companies. Cool. Fred Wilson, formerly of Flatiron Partners, and Brad, former executive and residence at AT&T, established USC with a mission to invest in early stage companies that transform markets through internet and mobile technologies. The firm adopted a thesis driven approach emphasizing networks, decentralized systems, and market disruption. First fund raised in 2004 was 125 million, reflecting the commitment to a small fund model. Early success with the 2004 fund. Best performing venture capital funds in history, achieving a reported 13.91x cash on cash return with an internal rate of return IRR of 67%. This fund backed iconic companies like Twitter, Etsy, and Zynga, seeking setting the stage for USV's reputation as a top tier VC firm. Early investment: Twitter, Etsy, Zynga, Tumblr. Early investment in the social media platform, which went public in 2013 with a 14.2 billion valuation. I'm actually really surprised. In that interview, Fred Wilson wasn't really Fred Wilson wasn't really appreciative of the fact that of what Elon is doing with Twitter. So let's see, Fred Wilson's Fred Wilson. Oh, Fred Wilson quotes on Elon Musk. Known for insightful commentary in tech, startups, and entrepreneurship. All right. Venture capital is about capturing the value between startup phase and the public company phase. Okay. On Twitter. Twitter is a public square, and I think it's incredibly important for the world to have a public square where people can express themselves. We look for founders who have a vision that is bold, ambitious, and can change the world in some fundamental way. Hmm. Share interests, potential critique. Collaborative team-driven startups. This praise for founders who empower teams might contrast with Musk's reputation for intense top-down leadership, as noted in anecdotes like Musk's email to a Tesla employee prioritizing work over family events. Wilson has not publicly critiqued Musk on this, but the leadership philosophies may diverge. Oh wow, what is that? Oh no. Oh no. Tell me more. Musk's email to a Tesla employee prioritizing work over family events. Reportedly prioritized work over a family event. The birth of the employee's child stems from Ashley Vance's 2015 biography. Significant discussion about Musk's leadership style, work life balance expectation. Receiving an email from Musk after missing a company event to attend the birth of his child. Oh shit. That is no excuse. I'm extremely disappointed. You need to figure out where your priorities are. You're changing the world and changing history, and you either commit or you don't. Wow. Occurred in Tesla's early days, a period of intense pressure as the company struggled to survive and scale production. During this time was characterized by demanding schedules with employees often working long hours, sometimes sleeping at the factory. The email reflects Musk's expectation of total commitment to Tesla's mission of revolutionizing transportation and energy. The anecdote was used to illustrate Musk's relentless work ethic and his belief that personal sacrifices were necessary to achieve Tesla's ambitious goals. Denial on Twitter. It is total BS and hurtful to claim that I told a guy to miss his child's birth just to attend a company meeting. I would never do that. Oh, okay. Clarified his support for pregnancy leave, distancing himself from the portrayal in the Wentz's book. He called the email anecdote total BS and hurtful, fabricated or misrepresented. Refuted another quote from the book where he allegedly called himself a samurai, indicating broader concerns about the book's accuracy. I would tell those people they will get to see their families a lot when we go bankrupt. Oh. I would tell those people they will get to see their families a lot when we go bankrupt. Ryan Popple, an early Tesla employee, later CEO of Proterra, told Vance that Musk once said to employees complaining about overwork. Employee accounts. Eye of Sauron. Former senior employee compared Musk's attention to the Eye of Sauron, creating pressure that could disrupt projects. Hacker News discussion. The guy was working through the birth of his firstborn. The story continued for months afterwards, and it's not a good one. The more senior you are, the more visible must be your presence. That is why I lived in the factory so much, so that those on the line could see me working alongside them. If I had not done that, Tesla would long ago have gone bankrupt. Often sleeping at Tesla factories or under his desk during critical production periods, such as the Model 3 ramp up in 2018. He did not have time to go home and shower during this period, setting a precedent for employee expectations. Communication style is direct and often uncompromising, as seen in other leaked emails. 2018 productivity email. 6 rules of productivity, including walking out of unnecessary meetings, avoiding jargon, and bypassing the chain of command for faster communication. Any manager who attempts to enforce chain of command communication will soon find themselves working elsewhere. Remote work ultimatum. Return to office for at least 40 hours per week, stating if you don't show up, you will assume you have resigned. He criticized remote work, saying there are of course companies that don't require this, but when was the last time they shipped a great new product? It's been a while. Physical presence and intense effort are critical to innovation, aligning with the alleged email's emphasis on commitment. Discussed balancing his role as a father of 5, now 13 or possibly 14 children. He admitted, I don't see my kids enough, but he noted he could be with them while working on email, as they don't need constant interaction. Unconventional view of family time, which may contextualize his expectations of employees. Okay, interesting. We don't have to get into this, but that was very interesting. Expansion of partnership. 2007, Albert Wenger, former president of Delicious, joined USB as a managing partner. His expertise in technology and networks strengthened USV's investment thesis, particularly in emerging areas like blockchain and decentralized systems. Recognition as a top VC firm. 2011, USB was named the best performing venture capital firm in the United States based on investment return rate, solidifying its status as a leader in the industry. The firm's consistent top quartile performance across its funds further enhanced its reputation. Blockchain and crypto investment. USB emerged as a major investor in blockchain cryptocurrency projects, with notable investments in Coinbase. An early bet on the crypto exchange yielded a 371x return when Coinbase went public in 2021, turning a 14 to 18 million investment into 5.2 billion. Algorand, Blockstack, and CryptoKitties. Also joined the Libra Association, Facebook's stablecoin initiative. These moves position USB as a pioneer in Web3 and crypto space. So between 2013 to 2018, they went hard. So Fred Wilson shares, like, when Bitcoin came out, he didn't really was sold on the concept of Bitcoin as a protocol, but after Ethereum, it all made sense. All right, 2011, named as the best performing venture capital firm in the United States based on investment return rates. This is good. Okay. So Albert brought the expertise in blockchain and decentralized systems. Billion-dollar exits. Indeed, acquired for 1.4 billion. Lending Club went public at 5.42. Twilio went public at 1.23. MongoDB went public at 1.6. Okay, Twilio 1.23 1.2, MongoDB 1.6, Lending Club 5.4, Indeed 1.4. USB had facilitated its $7 billion exit, showcasing its ability to back high impact companies. Fundraising in small fund discipline. USB raised 429 million across two funds, 190 million for its fifth early stage flagship fund and an opportunity fund for later stage investments. The firm maintained its disciplined approach, keeping fund sizes modest, 275 million for its 22 core fund despite market trends toward larger funds. USB launched a dedicated climate fund to invest in early stage startups addressing climate change, reflecting its adaptability to societal challenges. First female partner, Rebecca Mavron, 2019. Diversifying the partnership, fresh perspective. They have a climate fund as well. Portfolio diversification, recent investment. Oh, Duolingo. Okay, so they went into Duolingo. Continue to back innovative companies across sectors like fintech, Stripe, Carta, education, Duolingo, and AI. Doctronic Pluralis Research. Recent investments include 150 million in Farcaster. Oh wow. Or they're saying 150 million was totally done by USV? That is crazy. 30 million in Zanskar and 25 million in Malton Industries. The firm's portfolio now exceeds 130 startups with a focus on software, financial services, and IT in hubs like New York, San Francisco, and LA. Operation innovation with Attio, flexible CRM platform to streamline its operations, achieving 90% team adoption and improving deal flow and relationship management. This move highlighted USV's commitment to leveraging cutting edge tools to enhance its processes. Attio. Consistent top quartile performance. Consistently ranked in the top quartile of VC returns with several vintages achieving returns of 14x or higher. This track record has made USV a favorite among limited partners and benchmark for VC excellence. Likely inaccurate or satirical, as no credible sources corroborate this. Actually, this is interesting. What does vintage mean? Specific year in which a VC fund was raised or closed. Several vintages achieving returns of 14x or higher. Okay. Each fund raised by a VC firm like Union Square Ventures is identified by its vintage year, which helps investors and analysts track its performance relative to other funds raised in the same year. USV's flagship funds have consistently ranked in the top quartile of VC returns, with several vintages achieving returns of 14x or higher. 4, 8, 12. Top 25% of VC funds raised in those same years, based on metrics like internal rate of return or cash on cash multiples. Why vintage matters? Performance benchmarking. VC funds are compared to peers from the same vintage year because market conditions, dot-com boom, 2008 financial crisis, post-COVID tech surge heavily influence returns. A 2004 vintage fund, for instance, operated in a different environment than a 2020 vintage fund. Marks the start of its investment period, typically 3 to 5 years for deploying capital and its overall lifespan, 10 to 12 years for exits via IPO acquisitions or secondary sales. Okay. All right, so we learned something cool. Vintage. We learned about vintage. Fred Wilson quotes on crypto. Okay, what is happening? All right. Enthusiasm for the potential, caution about market volatility, and insights into the long-term impact. I've compiled and analyzed key quotes from Wilson on cryptocurrency sourced from his blog. On blockchain's resilience and internet-like potential, I compared the blockchain technology to the internet in terms of resilience. The internet was introduced as a massively decentralized system connecting the whole world, which can withstand and survive even if one or more of its sources come under attack. The blockchain can be considered the same with its resilience and the decentralized nature. Blockchain's decentralized architecture on the internet's emphasizing its ability to persist despite attacks on individual nodes. This reflects his early fascination with Bitcoin and blockchain, which he began exploring in 2011, leading to USV's investment in crypto startups like Coinbase. We believe that Bitcoin represents something fundamental and powerful, and an open and distributed internet peer to peer protocol for transferring purchasing power. Why he saw Bitcoin as a game changer. This investment marked USV's entry into the crypto space, signaling confidence in Bitcoin's staying power despite its volatility at the time. The Bitcoin protocol has perhaps far bigger ramifications in key fields like internet identity. Right now, you need someone to be the arbiter of identity, either Facebook, Twitter, or Google, somebody who developers can use for login and other information sharing. If you're sitting on 20x, 50x, 100x your money on a crypto investment, it would not be a mistake to sell 10%, 20%, even 30% of your position. Selling 25% of your position on investment that is 50x is booking a 12x on the entire investment while allowing you to keep 75% of it going. This is very interesting. On taking profits in crypto, if you're sitting on 20x, 50x, 100x on your money on a crypto investment, it would not be a mistake to sell 10, 20, or even 30% of your position. Cautious optimism, balancing belief in crypto's future with lessons from past speculative bubbles. It's particularly relevant given USV's partial sale of Coinbase shares before its 21 IPO, retaining a 7% stake worth billions. The best red flag for a scam is lack of detail on the technology, how it will work, and a lack of credibility of the people behind the project. Do your homework on these investments and make sure the technology and the people are credible before you part with your money. Emphasis on due diligence, a principle that helped USV avoid many failed ICOs while backing credible projects like Algorand and Helium. I'm certain the big crash will happen. I don't know when it will happen, and I think it may be sometime before it does. But diversification is the only way to survive a financial crash. Massive crash informed by his dot-com bubble losses. Bitcoin fell below 4,000. His focus on diversification mirrors USV's strategy of maintaining a varied portfolio. Ethereum, as many of you know, confounds me. It has shown the way to so many important things: smart contracts, programmable, trust-free computing, potentially proof of stake, and a lot more, but it remains hard to build on. Scaling issues abound, and many developers are looking elsewhere. Ethereum faced rivals like Solana, where USP later invested. Code in 24. On regulatory and banking hostility, regulators and banks in many parts of the world are downright hostile to crypto and have pushed much of the liquidity to Asia, and the innovation has followed it there. By all means, let's do more rather than less. Let's do more rather than less. If they aren't laughing at you, you are working on the wrong thing. Encourage bold experimentation aligning with his philosophy of backing crazy ideas that others mock, as he stated elsewhere. If they aren't laughing at you, you are working on the wrong thing. This succinct call to action encapsulates Wilson's embrace of crypto as a frontier for innovation, mirroring in USV's investments in experimental projects like CryptoKitties, which popularized NFTs, on crypto's consumer use cases. We think digital collectibles and all the games they enable will be one of the, if not the first, big consumer use cases for blockchain technologies, generating hundreds of millions in sales, validating Wilson's early bet on blockchain's consumer potential. Pragmatic optimism, profit-taking advice. Dot-com crash experience informs his emphasis on diversification and modest fundraisers. Raise big mentality of some crypto projects. Ethereum reassessment reflects intellectual honesty, acknowledging its scaling issues while still valuing its innovations. Adaptability has kept USB relevant in a fast evolving space.